Hey everybody, Dave here. This is a single video in my 15-part series for Let's Build in Blue Prism using Notepad++. I'm assuming that if this isn't part one, then you have seen the video prior to this. Let's get started. We need to add in the logic to choose specific windows, which means it's going to go between get window list and close windows. We'll need a loop window list. For now, I'm going to hard code the list of items that we need to remove. I think we'll do probably do collection contains action utility collection manipulation. So here's our input collection, and we want to know in the column name, window name, the value so this is, let's see, allowed windows. And here is where we're going to, for now, hard code this, but we'd obviously probably use this as environment variables or configuration or something, input file, I don't know. Allowed windows, add row. The names of them are going to be, okay, so these are the allowed windows. When we loop into window list, we want to know if it contains, so exact value is going to be the one from allowed windows dot window name, and then output is going to be contains search term true or false. Then we'll use a decision stage contains search term. If it does contain, if whatever item we have selected here, oh, I just realized that means we're looping through the wrong collection. Loop allowed windows. So we're going to loop through this collection, and it'll have two window titles, or window file names, basically. It'll take that file name, see if it's in this collection. If it is in there, then we need to delete it from this collection. Do we have an action that can do that? No. Okay, let's do this differently. We're not going to use contains, because the problem is that, I mean, it's great if we know that it's contained in that collection, but we need to actually remove it from the collection. So let's loop, as I was going to do originally, well, we'll have like a nested loop. First, we'll loop through allowed window titles, and for each of those, we'll look in all of these. Loop window list. And then window list, is allowed window. And the way we'll know this is if the current allowed window dot window name equals the current window list dot window name. If it does equal this, then we want to do something about it. We want to delete the row from window list. Remove row from window list. It wants the name of this collection. Okay, remove row from window list. Then we'll go to the next allowed windows. right? And then if we get to the end of them, if none of them match, then it doesn't really matter. So we will effectively loop, if there are 5 files open, then the max number of times that this one will loop is 10. If there are 2 allowed windows, then this will only loop twice. So what we're saying is, once we open Notepad and we go to the window list, then we'll get the window list. Once we have that, we need to compare. We need to make sure that anything that's in the allowed windows is not in the window list. And if it is in there, we need to delete it from this collection, because when we pass that into close windows, the action is just going to close whatever window titles, whatever windows we pass to it. And if there's anything in there we don't want it to close, then we need to remove it from the collection before passing it in. And that's what this is doing. So we loop into allowed windows. We get the first row, maybe it's the requirements.txt, and we're saying now we'll loop into window list. And let's see if requirement.txt, this window that we're dealing with now, the window name, does it equal the first one in window list? No. Okay, well, does it equal the second one? No. Third one? No. Fourth one? Yep. Okay, well then remove it. Remove this current row from window list. And then when then it'll go down and go to the next one. If, however, it's just not in there at all, it'll loop, 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 and then it'll go down to here, loop to the second allowed window, and it'll do the same comparison, and then we'll break out of that loop. Then we'll close the windows that are now remaining in this Windows list collection. We'll navigate away from the Windows list, and then we'll close Notepad++. Added loop. Oh, we should probably move this over. All right. Added window list loop for the allowed windows. Okay, so we have the windows open. Let's make sure that by the end of this, we'd expect 2 windows will still be open in Notepad++, assuming that they're open now. Let's verify. So it's going to be this one and this one. Here we go. Okay, so now if I go open Notepad++, now it didn't close everything. It should have closed all of these. Unless when we close it, I guess it's possible that when we close Notepad like this, that it's not saving what we have open, or it's happening too fast. Let's not play it super fast. It's going to launch Notepad++, navigate to the window list, get the window list, and then it's going to loop here. Is it allowed window? Nope, nope, nope. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we deleted it from the collection. Now we loop into the next one. Is it an allowed window? Yes. Okay, so now we're left with 3 rows like we'd expect. It should now close. It did. It closed 3 of them. And then when it closed Notepad++, it apparently doesn't save that. Weird. Okay, maybe the process. Let's see if I close it though. Close that, close it, close it. And if I close click the close button, then I reopen it. Okay, so it's just not using terminate then is not the way to go. This is one of those sensitive applications that we need to close not using terminate. Let's go into the object and work on that a little bit. Let's see, here, instead of using terminate, I think what we'll do is spy the close button. Let's just add it to the main section. I'll need to attach. application modeler. Identify. Let's see if Win32 is good. No, Win32 is not going to work for that. Active accessibility. Our second best friend behind Win32. Closes the window. Nice. Cool. So I can uncheck the parent name because that's going to throw it off. Window text. Suppose I could actually use that, but wildcard. Can we leave the rest of this? I think the rest of it is probably fine. We'll take ID number off because I think that's not useful. Default action we're going to take out, right? Because sometimes it seems to depopulate that field. Okay, I can find it. And more than one matching window found. That's interesting because description, that means that there's more than one element that has the description closes the window. Okay, let's try match index. Find out what the other one is. Where are we? Match index. Okay, so that's the close button. Let's try match index 2. Okay, so it's finding something. Let's see if there's a third one. All right, there's only 2. I don't know what the second one is. I'm like expecting something on my screen. Okay, well, it could just be that there's actually 2 elements underneath this, like behind this this button right here, and you know, one of them can be like a container element, one of them holds the image. Like, I don't know. But anyway, we know that match index 1 will work just fine because we're just clicking right there. As long as we can get it to click on that X, then I think we'll be good to go. Button X, and then we used active accessibility. Now the last thing we need to change is just the reference. So we're actually going to close, and instead of using the root and then terminating, we're just going to use the button and do a global mouse click center. So in this case, though, now that so the terminate action, I don't know that throws an error. I think it doesn't throw an error even if Notepad++ is not open. But I'd have to test that. But we're not using it, so I know though it's going to throw an error if we try to click close and it can't find that button. So let's so instead of I don't like the errors that we get whenever Blue Prism throws its own errors and says it can't find a button that matches the query terms. That confuses people when they see that. So I like to preempt it. Wait. We'll just use this one and we'll adapt it a little. This is going to be close button exists and check exists true. 5 seconds is fine. Let's this is going to be close button. Oops. Close button could not be found. Connect these together. We have no errors. Adjusted close button to use X instead of terminate. Now, no changes to the process because we made the change in the object. The reference is still to the same action, which is what's so beautiful about objects in Object Studio. We don't have to worry about the process, even understanding what's happening behind the scenes, as long as it works. Let's reset and let's go open up more files. Okay, so now we should have those 5 files open. And let's just reorder these a little bit for funsies. Close it, and we'll just reopen it just to make sure it's still there. Yep. Ready to run it. Here we go. Launch. Navigate to the window list. Get the window list. Loop through the windows. Wait, is it going really slow? Okay. Let's see if it worked. Notepad++. Looks like it worked. It did not work. It may have been that when I dragged around, I dragged my mouse. I may have messed it up. Let's open these. Close it. Let's try it again. I'm not going to touch anything this time. What's going on? What? Well, we got it right now, but let's just run it one more time. I want to actually, well, let's just run it from control room then. Right? We got a successful test, but the important thing is we've got to make sure we're not clicking on the screen whenever there's anything like global mouse clicks involved. So saving to run test from control room. Publish this process. Publish this process to control room. Save. And we'll close it. Control room. And let's do this. Start. Right. It shouldn't have anything to close. Terminated. I couldn't find the main menu button. Oh, right, because it went too fast. Right. That's fine, maybe. Is it? Is it okay? Let's take a look in control room again at that log and see it was in launch Notepad++ action. Okay, so after it launched, it couldn't find the button. So if we go to launch, and we can close this. If it launches, it found the button just fine that time. 5 seconds. We are checking that this exists. Surely it didn't take more than 5 seconds for Notepad to open. Now let's test it again just like we did before, where we open all of these files, close, and let's run this again. All right, cool. Well, there you go. So we have successfully made that piece of the process, though, and it is now opening Notepad++, going and checking the windows that are open, closing the ones that shouldn't be, and then leaving the ones open that should be based upon the inputs. All right, thanks for watching this part of this 15-part series in Let's Build in Blue Prism, where we work with Notepad++. I'll see you next time.